for tuning in to This Week in Poker. Straight from the Card Player TV studio in Las Vegas directly to you, we have the details on everything that's gone down recently in the poker industry. Up in Canada, the newest World Poker Tour champion will be crowned tonight.
The North American Poker Championship on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls has reached a 6-person final table. 504 players entered the event, and that built a prize pool of more than $5 million. The first place finisher will have over $1.3 million to declare at the border on the way back to the United States. The sixth place finisher will have to settle for a $170,000 payday.
The chip leader going into this final table is Jonathan Little with over 2.6 million chips. Little is currently in 5th place in the Card Player Player of the Year race, and a win in Niagara would put him in 1st place. We have Little on the phone right now to find out how he plans to claim his 2nd WPT title of the year. Hi, John, and congratulations on making another WPT final table. Are you confident of winning this one since you're going in as the chip leader?
Well, everyone kind of has fairly the same amount of chips. I mean, I only have, 2 times average, or not even 2 times average, so everyone's fairly close. So just because I have a lot of chips doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to win, because it's also a very tough table. But, I think I stand as good a chance as anyone else to win.
Are you familiar with the play of any of the other players at the final table?
Yeah, I played with everyone for, at least some, because we were at the final 9 together. And the only person I haven't played with any in the tournament was Barry Greenstein, but I've seen him play enough on TV to kind of know how he plays. So, I know pretty much how everyone plays.
Who do you think is going to be your toughest opponent?
I think Action Jeff is going to be my toughest opponent just because he's on my left. If, me and him had swapped seats, the toughest person would probably be Barry Greenstein because he's on his left, Everyone's pretty good at the final table, and, really position is going to be determine who's going to be the toughest person for you to play against.
Do you think there's any player at the final table that you have a good read on that you think you'll be able to play well against?
I think I have pretty good reads on most everyone at the table. So, I'm not too worried about that.
So was there a turning point for you in this tournament in Niagara when you just knew you were going to make another final table?
I really didn't ever know I was going to make another final table. Especially this one. I had a lot of chips most of the tournament, and there were a few points where I thought I definitely wasn't going to make it, but there was never a point where I said I was going to make it.
So when you won your first WPT title just a few months ago, did you expect to win another one this year?
I didn't expect to ever win another one in my life. So making it back here again so quickly is, it gives me lots of hope.
So what do you think it is about your game that helps you get through these deep fields? This tournament had over 500 players, and here you are again in the final 6.
I don't really know what it is. I really haven't had any situations where you just automatically go broke. Like, I haven't had kings against aces any in, the last year, in big live tournaments. And, I just really haven't had the second nuts against the nuts all that often for my whole stack.
So are you still playing as much poker online as you did before you entered the live tournament circuit?
I don't play quite as much online. I play probably about 1 or 2 Sundays out of the month for the multi-table tournaments. I took 4th in the Full Tilt Million Guaranteed. It was about 2 months ago. That was like $70,000, so that was good. But I really don't play quite as much as I used to.
Is your online poker strategy similar to your live poker strategy, or are there any differences?
I play quite a bit tighter online just because you can't get away with calling people as light and trying to outplay them after the flop or whatever, just because you can't really get that many great reads on them.
So right now you're 5th in the Card Player Player of the Year race, and just by making this final table it guarantees that you're going to jump up to 4th, even if you bust in 6th place. Are you going to climb higher than that at this final table?
I hope to win it. If I win the final table here, I think I'd be number 1 on the Card Player Player of the Year, so that would be excellent. But I'm just going to let the cards do what they do, and you just play well, because that's all you can really hope to do.
Well, Scott Clements is currently 9th in the Player of the Year race, and he's entering the final table 2nd in chips. Do you have plans to take him out early so he won't accumulate any more Player of the Year points?
I'm not really going after anyone. I don't really, it doesn't really matter to me if he accumulates points or not, as long as I finish higher than him, Scott's a great guy, a good player, and, I'm probably going to try to stay out of his way for the most part because he's the only person that can really bust me right now.
So like you said, to overtake David Pham and claim the 1st place right now on the leaderboard, you would have to finish 1st. What would it mean to you to lead the Card Player Player of the Year race?
It would be a great thing. At the beginning of the year, I thought there was like 0% chance. And now it's looking like I actually have a pretty decent shot of it. Even if you told me like a week ago, I'd say I pretty much have no chance. But, you know, I've been fortunate enough to make another final table, so hopefully things go well.
So if you do win this tournament in Niagara, do you think you'll be able to hold on to that first place spot and finish up the year?
I really don't know. I mean, I'll play pretty much all the rest of the tournaments just to make sure that no one gets an edge on me just because they play more than me. But, I mean, I'll just try to play everything, and hopefully I can do well in some other tournament to lock it up.
It sounds like a plan. Well, good luck today, John, and thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us before the final table.
All right, thanks a lot.
Going into the final table in second chip position is Scott Clements, and in third is David Cloutier. Kofi Farkai enters the final table in fourth chip position, and Jeff Garza is in fifth. The short stack going into the North American Poker Championships final table is Barry Greenstein. Make sure to check out the live updates, chip counts, and photos from the tournament right here on cardplayer.com.
The next World Poker Tour event kicks off in the Northeast next Wednesday, the 7th. Card Player TV will be at Foxwoods in order to provide you with complete video coverage. Last year, Nenad Metic won the 2006 World Poker Finals, which was good for over $1.7 million. The runner-up was E.G. Harvin.
The preliminary events at Foxwoods have already begun, and the 12th tournament of the series starts today. It is a $1,500 buy-in, no-limit hold'em tournament. So far, the preliminary events have been drawing huge numbers. The first tournament of the series, a $300 buy-in shootout tournament, had 1,369 entrants. During the first 9 events alone, over $2.2 million in prize money has been awarded.
This coming Monday on GSN's High Stakes Poker, there will be over $5 million on the table. The minimum buy-in was raised to a record-breaking $500,000 per player. Doyle Brunson, Sammy Farha, David Benjamin, Barry Greenstein, Antonio Esfandiari, Daniel Negreanu, Patrick Antonius, and Guy Liberte are all set to attend.
In legal news, Peter Nylander, the CEO of Unibet, who was arrested last week in Amsterdam on a French warrant, has been released on bail. He was arrested for allegedly violating France's monopoly on horse racing and lotteries. Unibet claims that the French law violates European Union law. Nylander's bail was set at €200,000.
Over in Ireland, the European Poker Tour stopped in Dublin, and today is day 3 of the event. 221 players ponied up just over $11,000 to create a total prize pool of more than $2.4 million. Still in contention are Andy Black, who began the day as the chip leader, and Annette Oberstad, who was second in chips when day 3 started.
The first executive poker tour main event was taken down by Lee Childs. Childs is best known for his 7th place finish in this year's World Series of Poker main event. The tournament in Atlantic City had a $2,500 buy-in, and its goal was to raise money for Project Lifesaver.
Halloween has come and gone, and, as always, Todd Brunson hosted his annual Halloween party. Card Player TV was at the Brunson house for the party, and you won't believe what he dressed up as. To find out what Brunson and other poker pros were wearing, make sure to visit Card Player TV's lifestyle channel. The video will be released soon.
And that sums up This Week in Poker. I'm Christy Arnett.
And I'm Lizzie Harrison for Card Player TV.